looks like they're getting started.
Yep, both of them at the title screen. Looks like GTAce is off. Stewie does not have a delay on his, so he's going to start his timer at the beginning of the stage, and we'll get it synced up shortly here, hopefully.
Yeah, so immediately we see a difference in strategy. GTAce is grabbing a mushroom in 1-1. He's going to likely grab the flower in 1-2, and Stewie is staying small, likely to power up in 1-3 and set up a small fire in 1-4.
Yeah, I believe Stewie is a small fire player unless he diverges strategies for races, but yeah, I would expect him to hold up on the grabs for now. Now,
well, thank you so much for the admins and the volunteers to get us synced up here.
Perfect. So Stewie chooses to kick the shell, which I think is a smart safety strat when you're going for small fire Mario. But unfortunately, he goes for the pipe jump, which I think is actually the harder of the two strats in this stage. But it has a checkpoint there, so that's helpful.
Oh, that is nice. Yeah. So he went for half of the safety strats, and I think most likely he knew of the checkpoint, and it wasn't that costly because he didn't have any power-ups grabbed or anything. So in the scheme of things, that's not a big deal for him.
Yeah, I hadn't even really considered that going, if you're going to safety one versus the other, I hadn't even really considered the checkpoint. So
let's see how Stewie grabs this mushroom here. Oh, unfortunately, no. He bonked against the coin block and fell into the pit.
Yeah, I don't know if a lot of runners know about how, I know you employ this strat, how you can land on the platform and just run into the coin block, and it's quite a safer grab.
Yeah, that is true. There is a strat where if you don't slow down in the level, you can run directly into the block in a very safe way. But again, not that big a deal if from now on Stewie Cartman can just minimize the mistakes. He's only a little bit behind.
Oh, for sure. And so he'll be looking to initiate the small fire Mario glitch here. So he's waiting and tries to take damage and hit Bowser at the same time, which he does. And that will allow him to set up the small fire glitch.
Absolutely. I saw Stewie do a series of what looked like leg lifts while waiting for Bowser to come around. Nice.
Yeah, Mario not skipping leg day today, that's for sure. Yeah, so you use small fire Mario. Would you say that he got a favorable Bowser pattern? What are you actually looking for there when you're trying to set it up?
It looked like he got not the best Bowser pattern. You want Bowser to go backwards for a small fire optimally. Actually, I couldn't tell if Bowser went forward or did the kind of like the turnaround jump. Either way, in a race, I think you don't mind too much. You're just happy to get it set up. Meanwhile, GTAce is chugging along as he does. Most likely, he's on his notes, so he is keeping track of exactly what his pace is, which will come into play in later levels.
Yeah, he's had a pretty flawless start so far. Heading into 2-3 here, which is a little bit of a trolley level with the flying cheeps, so let's see how he handles this.
For a little more context about this race and these runners, while GTAce is the world record holder, and the difference between GTAce's PB and Stewie's is quite significant, in the context of a race, I would say Stewie is also an expert level player of the game.
Oh, absolutely. He's definitely shown his skill, making it through the round robin stage and into the bracket stage. Meanwhile, GTAce here in 2-4. A little bit of a dangerous duck jump coming up here, but he handles it no problem. Let's see how his Bowser kill goes.
Perfect kill for GTAce. Stewie Cartman is handling sometimes scary fish patterns of 2-3.
Yeah, he managed to get through it without needing to slow down. Finishes it with a 240, really nice. GTAce into 3-1. Pretty fun level in my opinion. This is probably one of my favorite levels in the Warpless category.
Yeah, aesthetically, it's nighttime, which everyone enjoys. The black background. The nice handling of the staircase there. Probably the hardest part of 3-1 is the ending staircase by GTA's.
Yeah, definitely adding those two Koopas there adds a pretty tricky element that's probably a little harder than it looks, I would say.
So Stewie now into 3-1. Let's see if he can follow suit and handle the end of this level and the staircase.
Nicely done.
Yeah, we are almost exactly synced up one level between them, which is interesting because a one level lead is by no means safe come the later parts of this race.
Yeah, definitely. In the final world, as many people might know, there's no checkpoint, so you take a death at the very end, and you essentially lose an entire level, especially considering you have to have the load screen show up again.
Yeah, there are just a myriad of heartbreaking ways to lose a race in World 8.
So GTA.
Meanwhile, you take it, Bismarck?
Yeah, I was just going to say GTA is going really aggressive in 3-4. Certainly believe he's using his spreadsheet there, and he handles it expertly with a 261 kill. Really nice.
Absolutely. What we saw there from GTAce is what we're going to see pretty much every time he plays. He follows a set of patterns and notes. So he's using his splits locally, combined with his notes to play these levels aggressively and not slow down at all. So excellently done by him. Stewie Cartman looked to be on a spreadsheet as well on his notes, but hit the last Potaboo, and unfortunately he has lost his small fire setup and a game over, which is devastating. So Stewie Cartman with the game over heads back to World 3-1, which puts GTAce in a big advantage all the way in World 4-2. And it was just one Bowser clear from Stewie Cartman into World 4.
Sorry there, Dr. Mushash. I just had a issue with my reading, but it seems to be back up now.
Oh, okay. Welcome back, Bismarck.
Thanks for welcoming me back. So, if I'm not mistaken, Stewie took an unfortunate game over in World 3.
Yeah, unfortunately, taking a little bit of damage in 3-4, and then once you're that big Mario that's actually small Mario, it becomes incredibly difficult, and unfortunately just took a hit trying to get over Bowser.
I see. Thanks for getting me up to speed. Meanwhile, GTA's here in 4-4.
It will be interesting to see what Stewie goes for. As a small fire runner, you don't want to lose small fire status in World 3, so it might be worthwhile to set it back up. So we'll see what he does.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. It looks like he's going for the flower, which is a pretty strong indication that he won't be setting it up again. But you never know.
I think he'll probably try to remain big fire. I can say that psychologically, when you're running against someone like GTAce, whether or not you're watching the restream, you gotta feel a lot of pressure. Once you've made a mistake, the pressure will just continue to ramp up because you feel like your opponent makes no mistakes.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I think from Stewie's perspective, best attitude is just to try to play your game and not sort of change things at this point, and get back into a groove, so that you can be ready to go for the next race. But, yeah, we still have 4 worlds to go here.
Yeah, I completely agree. What we're going to take a look at is how comfortable Stewie is with Big Fire. A lot of small fire runners are not as comfortable with Big Fire because it's kind of always plan B for them.
Looks like Stewie tried to take top route there, but unfortunately didn't make the jump, and then on the rebound hit a piranha plant. But fortunately, on this level, he's able to power right back up.
Meanwhile, it looked like GTAce took a time loss on purpose, probably to set up good bars here in 5-4. He lost a bit of time at the end of that last level, and that's most likely due to his notes.
Good observation there, and he just sort of blazed through that 5-4. So I would agree that he was definitely comfortable with this frame rule.
Looks like Stewie took a death in 4-3. That jump is quite challenging as Small Mario to keep your speed just enough to clear the enemies, but also to clear the next gap. So very challenging part of the game.
Yeah, there's certain areas in this game, certain jumps in Warpless that with fire are completely trivial, and without it are incredibly difficult to do fast, and that's one of them for sure.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Had Stewie been on his game plan still with his small fire, he likely would have had no issue in that level, but once you're off your game plan and you're kind of, ad-libbing it, anything can be an issue from that point on.
Really nice 6-2 for GTAce. While Stewie handling Bowser really nice. Almost looked like he tried to set up small fire again.
It did look like it. It was very nearly a setup at the very least.
Yeah. I don't think it was initially his intention, but then when he found himself in the position, I think he thought, why not go for it?
What can we say about GTAce? It's almost workmanlike, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to appreciate exactly the level of his play because it's so commonplace from him.
Yeah, for sure. And, he's just playing like a well-oiled engine right now because he's, just got 2 PBs, high confidence, and it's just masterful to watch.
It looked like he lost another frame rule in 6-3 on purpose to set up either some kind of a Bowser pattern in 6-4 or some other pattern, maybe a good early under pattern for those initial bars. So not only is he playing perfectly, he's also strategizing in a way that is takes quite a bit of mastery.
Yeah, for those who may not know, in this game, in the various fortress levels, the position of the bars will change depending on what time you enter the level. So that's what Dr. Mustache is talking about when he's saying he's taking some intentional slowdowns to get more favorable bars, which can actually result in him, saving time by losing time.
Stewie Cartman, by the way, just played a really excellent 5-3. There's most likely no way he has any notes about that, but he handled the patterns very, very well.
Yeah, 5-3 is probably, especially in a race setting, one of the scariest levels in the entire Warpless run.
Yeah, it's absolutely terrifying. Even not in a race, it's always a terrifying level. And there's that duck jump you were talking about earlier, Bismarck.
Yeah, so you need to make a duck jump there with when you're Big Mario, and it's really easy for the D-pad to kind of press down right by accident, or just a right period right before you're about to make a jump, and you just kind of run off the platform like that. But Stewie manages to get the duck jump done the second time around and is through the stage.
The most frustrating part about it is that it's such a subtle mistake on your part, and the consequences look so exaggerated, like you really screwed up.
Yeah, it looks like you just forgot what you do. Yeah.
So Stewie looked like he just took an intentional game over. How's that work, Bismarck?
Yeah, so in this game, you're able to do a continue code, which is something that I wish I knew about when I was a kid playing this game. But as long as you've completed a world, when you go back to the title screen, you can hold A and start, and you go back to the world, the first level of the world you died in. So if you only have one life left, it's sometimes advisable to go for the intentional game over, lose a few seconds so that you don't game over later in the world.
So let's see if chat can predict the pace that GTAce is on. I don't want to jinx his run, but it looks like he's on 1906 or 1907 pace right now.
Yeah, let's see what chat thinks. Are you going to put down the time mustache, or are you going to keep that one to yourself?
I'm saying 1907, low 1907.
07? Okay, for the sake of argument, I'm going to say 1909.
You're going to look foolish.
I say GTAce goes for BBG and gets the FPG instead.
It's Stewie Cartman into World 6-3, which is much more difficult when you're big. You have to deal with a late duck jump at the beginning, and as you saw, he had to react to various bad bills, bad bullet patterns, but that was really expertly played. Great job, Stewie.
Nicely done. 6-3, another really scary level. GTAce getting through the plant jump. Plays the first part a little bit safe, but
I think he's going to bounce off this Koopa. Yeah, I don't think he's setting up any bullet bill glitches. He's, as I said, it's workmanlike. He's just doing the task he was assigned.
Real nice 6-4 for Stewie. 2:59 on the clock. At this point, he can choose to power up in 7-1 or maybe play out the rest of the game as small. So we'll see what Stewie decides to do there.
Looks like he is going to grab power-ups in 7-1. This first mushroom is hard to maintain through the rest of the level because of all the Hammer Brothers.
So GTAce through 8-3 had some kind of trouble with the bros there, but wasn't able to slow down, but was prudent enough to fall to ensure that he didn't get the 3 on the clock.
Right, into 8-4, the last level of the game for GTAce. GTAce is going to do the 2-frame wall jump setup here, so he's going to walk off this pipe and try to jump off this other pipe. Oh, beautiful.
Nice wall jump. So he's going to go past this pipe and back in to initiate the wrong warp into the final water section.
Snappy turnaround, and he goes duck swim. Swimming with half a hitbox now. Oh, and he's home free. Bismarck, take it home.
Perfect swim. GTAce heading into Bowser. He can't lose at this point because he can take a hit. Goes under the fort Bowser with a blazing 1906.8.
Holy moly. Holy moly. A time that a lot of us are looking for thousands and thousands of attempts and PBs, and he just does it in his race safety strats. Congratulations, GTAce.
Really nicely done, GTAce. And I don't even think I need to look at the leaderboards, but I'm going to say that's probably the fastest race in this tournament so far. If not, it's got to be second or
GTAce did put down a 1906, I believe, in the group stage against an unfortunate runner. Because there's really nothing you can do. There's really nothing you can do against a 1906.
The runner to be left unnamed.
An unknown runner. Well, let's get behind Stewie. Let's hope he finishes strong. He's on plan C maybe by now. But this is maybe exactly what he needs coming into the next race, because this is a best 2 out of 3. This isn't over.
Yeah, absolutely. I really think, you know, he's been playing. He hasn't been playing his Small Fire Mario, but we've seen him loosen up and kind of. I think see his play. You could tell he's not as nervous as he was in the first few minutes of the race, and he must know surely at this point that he's kind of just playing to complete. But hopefully he can use this to his strength going into the next race, and you know, have a much stronger race and show the true skill level that we all know he has.
I think absolutely. With a 21 on the timer, he knows GTAce is likely finished. But I do like that he's finishing this run and not forfeiting. I think he should finish. We can all enjoy the rest of the race. And Stewie Cartman is very, very capable of 1920 or 1930 in a race. That's just one mistake from GTAce, and he could win. It's very, very possible. All right, 1 life, Bismarck. What would you do here? Would you take a reset? A game over?
I personally, in a race setting, I would take the intentional game over. His character stopped there. Let me just
He
see.
might be forfeiting here.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to just make sure I check in SRL.
Don't feel rushed, Stewie. We'd like to see you finish. There's no rush.
Okay, I'm going to assume.
Yeah, he has seemingly. I think that's just out of respect for chat and everyone's time. Yeah. So, looks like we went to GTAce's audio, which is quite loud. So we had 1 race done. So GTAce took the first one. We got to get set up for the second race.
Yeah, we should be set up here just shortly.
So don't, for any of you that don't watch Stewie regularly or don't watch a lot of Mario, this category is very punishing. Very small mistakes can cost a very large amount of time. So Stewie is very capable of making no mistakes and putting down a very good time. So let's hope for a clean second race here.
So both runners here ready to go.
So what do you think, Bismarck? Hey, all right, you asked the question.
Were we just about to ask each other the same question? I was going to get into the mind of GTAce and say, how do you think he's feeling entering this one? Do you think he's complicit and confident and maybe takes a few more risks? Or do you think he, workman-like, just sticks to his game plan and does exactly what he did in the first race?
Well, I was actually trying to get into the mind of Stewie Cartman. So, yeah, let's get into the mind of GTAce. To be honest, I think GTAce is going to go to work. He's disciplined. He's not going to go for anything flashy. He's not going to go for flagpole glitches, bullet bills, anything, which he's very, very capable of. He's not going to do fast accelerations or anything like this. Again, he can do them, no problem, but he's here to win the race. So, yeah, it's going to be the same. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised to see him on the identical frame rule for the entire race. That's how consistent he is.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that assessment. Strictly business for GTAce.
But he does not play it safe. We saw Mars earlier in his race show off the model of consistency. I think 1916, 1917 in both races. But that was kind of a cooling down a little in 3-4, 5-4, 6-4. Meanwhile, GTAce is on spreadsheet. He slows down on purpose so he can play the castles as fast as possible. So he does take on risk. And we're off.
It's like we're synced up now.
So Stewie probably sticks to his guns. I don't know why he would change. He's going to go back to small fire and just try to clean up and play his race.
Yeah, I think for Stewie, it's just about finding rhythm. Warpless is one of those categories where if you take damage early or things don't go right early, it kind of can set, a chain reaction of events where you just don't feel comfortable for the entire race. Where I think for him, it's really just about getting comfortable early and into rhythm.
A small change in strategy from Stewie Cartman there. He did not go for the pipe jump that got him in the first race, so he just waited it out. It overall kicking the Koopa and waiting on the plant costs about 1.5 seconds. So in a race, that's a very good strategy.
Yeah, I agree. And how important is it to get kind of the pattern that you want in 1-4? Are there any patterns that really just won't work or will give you a lot of trouble, or is it pretty forgiving?
Well, for small fire, if you're doing PB attempts, it's a reset if you can't get Bowser to go backwards. At Stewie Cartman's level, for sure, in the 1920s. But in a race, I think you take whatever pattern you get, and you just really want to enable the glitch to set it up, because if you fail it, your entire run is kind of ad hoc.
So GTAce gets the opening shots under the forward Bowser. Stewie.
Did you see the amount of leg presses?
I don't think he set it up though. Did he hit Bowser on the X at the same time?
I was distracted by the leg presses.
I want to say he didn't.
He did not. You're right. So he is exactly facing the situation that I just referenced. He's now Big Fire, and he does not want to be, especially not in World 2-1.
Yeah, so this is a significant development for him. Based on the last race, it did seem like he was fairly comfortable with Big Mario. Takes unfortunate damage there by taking bottom route. I think he will try to set it up again, but that's yet to be seen. He will have another opportunity to set it up in 2-4.
That will be interesting. We did see flashes of him being very competent with Big Fire for a lot of that previous race. Maybe he just says, hey, I can do this, and GTAce just gave him the slightest of windows, taking damage, which seems unbelievable.
Yeah, that GTAce, that choke point there is extremely tricky, especially when you're Big Mario, so he opted to not do the duck swim and was using fire there, but just, clips the top of Mario's head into that blooper, and, that suddenly breathes a lot of life into this run for Stewie Cartman.
Yeah, even at the highest levels of this game, mistakes are always lurking.
So with that damage... Oh, sorry, I was just going to say, with that damage, does that guarantee that GTAce would no longer be on the spreadsheet at this point, or...?
Oh, that's a good point. I believe that's how damage works in this game. I think all the patterns he's expecting in the future no longer apply because of the damage. I'm not really a Mario tactician in that way. I mostly just take the advice of the experts, but I believe that's true.
GTAce just went for flagpole glitch and hit it. That was sick. So I guess, not being on the spreadsheet now, all bets are off in terms of him playing conservative, because he's going to have to play safe in certain castles that he doesn't know what frame rule he's on, but that'll also open up out of the window for him to kind of take some more risks too.
Well, this should be really a treat for us and all the viewers because now GTAce is like a jazz musician. He's no longer playing a, sheet music. He has to improvise.
Yeah, he has to improvise, and instead of the trombone, his instrument is the fire flower.
I really appreciate you taking that analogy and running with it because I was like regretting this weird jazz analogy. Oh, so he is powering up in 3-1?
Although I don't know how much of a jazz instrument the trombone is. I think most normal people would say bass or guitar or something like that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
really nice handling of the
between the
stairs.
two.
Yeah, Stewie had an excellent 3-1. Handles the stairs flawlessly. So we're less than a level apart at this point.
Yeah, as long as they're within the same level, any mistake is exactly this amount of time or more. So this is a very, very tight race. And Stewie, we speculated whether he'd go back to Small Fire, but he seems content to take his chances with Big Fire Mario.
And he's had an excellent World 3 so far, so I think it's so far looking like the right strategy.
I'm looking in chat, and at least one person agrees with trombone. Someone named Tig Dwan.
Isn't he the 13th ranked Waldo runner in the world?
He is the
man.
13th ranked easy Waldo runner. Excellent kill, GTAce. See, we got to see him do the Mario Jazz there. He couldn't play it recklessly. Ooh, what happened to Stewie?
Oh no, Stewie takes an unfortunate fall into the pit there. I'm not ashamed to admit I've done that several times. It's just easy to, because when you're running and jumping, it's really easy just to let go of an input or jump late and fall into the pit there.
That's what a lot of people call an eaten input, where you're pretty sure you press the button, but the game disagrees.
So Stewie taking a second death, which is significant because he only has one life left.
Oh, this is flashbacks to the first race. I hope he gets through World 3 without a 3-4 game over. It looks like he will.
Yeah, so he should be okay now, and he may choose to get the intentional game over in 4-1, or he's getting pretty close to having enough coins for a second life, so...
Yeah, this will be interesting. World 4 is actually kind of a lull in this speedrun. He might push World 4 because there's not a lot of risk.
Oh, looks like he's choosing to stay. So he's probably considering the coin count, and look, he is looking to gather as many coins as he can because he's quite close to getting another life.
That's true. Once he collects 100 coins, he will gain an extra life, and 2 lives is enough of a cushion for a player like Stewie to feel confident to proceed.
Meanwhile, GTAce is in 4-3. He'll be looking to get the optimal jump onto the flag here, which can actually save you just a little bit of time.
Yeah, that looked like the Sky Shoes, where you jump perfectly onto the flag.
I would agree. That looked like he got it. Stewie powering up, so he's back to full strength in 4-2.
Stewie wants to go top route, and he will have it. Oh, GTAce with the clip. He's feeling spry.
Nice. Goes for the clip. I was hoping we'd see a little bit more of that.
Incredible. That's an incredible display of Mario athleticism. So let's see if Stewie is going to go for the optimal play in 4-3. It's a challenging level because you're not allowed to slow down whatsoever. He did slow down slightly, so he's playing it a little bit more safe, but I mean, we're talking about less than a half a second of time.
Nicely done, and he also managed to grab his second life there, which is a nice bit of insurance going into 4-4.
That's 0.35 seconds for those sticklers in chat.
5-2. A little bit of a tricky stage, but GTAce is making quick work of it.
Nice kill from Stewie. He had to just take a pause there to not run right into Bowser. Make sure Bowser's dead before continuing. It's excellent work.
Yeah, 4-4, one of the trickiest Bowser kills, I think so, at least. GTA's in 5-3, which we've already discussed how dangerous that can be. He's already had to jump onto 2 bills, but, unfortunately had a third one. They were just relentless.
This is this unfortunate story of 5-3. When you are on an unknown pattern, it's very, very difficult to avoid damage when certain bullets come your way. I think GTAce did everything in his power, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, that last one, I think he had no choice but to jump into it. He was kind of pot committed there. There was a pit right in front of him, so he just, jumped into it and took his losses. So
GTAce again showing that he doesn't need his notes. He doesn't need patterns he's ready for. He read that Bowser was a forward Bowser. He ran right underneath as small Mario and just grabbed the axe. Moving on. He's going to grab 2 power-ups and 6-1 most likely.
Yep, not the worst place for him to take damage in 5-3 there, considering that 6-1 has 2 power-ups waiting for you right at the beginning of the stage.
Yeah, anyone who's ever learned Warpless is very familiar with taking damage in 5-4 and powering up in 6-1. It's kind of like for 1,000 attempts, you're going to be doing that. Meanwhile, Stewie into 5-4, not very far behind, in fact.
Yeah, Stewie chooses to pass on the mushroom grab there, which I think is not a bad decision because, as I say that he takes damage, but I was just going to say it makes that jump a little bit easier where you don't have to do the duck jump, but unfortunately lands on the fire bar just after the brick there.
So Stewie has put himself into this scary position again of being in a castle level that's very dangerous without a lot of life protection, but he is through into World 6.
Pretty scary jumps there, but he threaded the needle right through the pot-au-feu and the flame, and really nice reaction time there to dodge everything and get into World 6. But as I was about to say, absolutely taking the game over was the right move in that situation.
Yeah, that's the safest play. Take a quick game over. It's maybe less than 10 seconds of time loss for a lot of protection, a lot of safety. So contrast GTAce here to the last race. He slows down, he sets up good bar patterns. Let's see how his kill goes.
Really nice. He got the backwards Bowser, and he managed to keep the lag. He had a lot of hammers there, so you can get some lag if there's too many sprites on the screen while you're shooting, but he managed to stay nice and tight and close to Bowser, so the fireball didn't have to travel very far.
It was nice, considering both his opening shots got gobbled up. So Stewie into World 6-2. It's a really fun level to play against the night sky. Running, jumping, shooting plants. Doing a slowdown here on the staircase to avoid fireworks, so you don't want to go too fast. Perfectly played by Stewie.
Yeah, perfect 6-2 for Stewie. Meanwhile, GTAce heading into the next and final water level. Pretty scary level. GTAce took some unfortunate damage in in 2-2, the first one. So I think he's going to be looking for revenge on some of these bloopers.
Yeah, let's see how many fish and squids that he kills in revenge, because he knew the pattern for 2-2, so he has to feel annoyed to take damage in a level that he's practiced so much.
So far, the body count is 3.
Oh, and he gets a clean exit. Beautifully played.
Austin 316 and through with a perfect 7-2.
Stewie playing 6-4 identically to the way GTAce did just moments ago. He does get opening shots. Even faster Bowser kill. Great job.
Really nicely played for Stewie. GTAce in a pretty scary cheap level. These patterns can be quite awful.
Yeah, so what he's going to do is just run forward, jump as late as possible, duck when he needs to. The ending part is often the scariest, but the fish cleared out. So into 7-4 on a great pace. Great pace for GTA.
Yeah, cool little trick. Maybe some casual Mario players might not know is that as long as Mario is going downwards, you'll always win a collision with an enemy. So in a level like 7-3 where the Jeeps are flying all over the place, you'll see runners often go for jumps a little bit earlier and sometimes collide with an enemy and you're wondering why they didn't take damage. As long as they're going downwards, you will win every time.
Can someone in chat handle the question about the RNG? It's a little bit time-consuming to explain that for us. So let's focus on the play-by-play. Stewie takes damage in 7-2. It's a very, very difficult level, but it's also one of the more frustrating levels to take damage on, because once you take damage in 7-2, there's no way to have fire for World 8 anymore.
Yeah, the next power-up is in 7-3, which is that cheap level that we just saw GTAce get through, and it's really tricky to actually grab that without taking damage. So
and it just makes you big, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It just makes you big, so it doesn't really provide a ton of advantage, and it's really risky to get. But some runners choose to get it just for some safety to get through the second half of 7-3.
Yeah, it's almost in preparation for 8-2, where you can finish grabbing, and then 8-3 can not be so terrifying once you have fire. But Stewie's playing this level small. He's staying small. Oh, he's getting quite challenging fish patterns, but handling them really well.
Yeah, surprised he chose to go under that Koopa and run. That was like a really tight jump, but it allowed him to finish off that section perfectly. Didn't have to slow down. It gets a perfect 340 or 240. Sorry, on the clock.
Well, GTAce has already proven me wrong by going for a flagpole glitch. I said he wouldn't do anything flashy, so I thought maybe he'd just sit there waiting for a bullet. Into the home stretch now.
Yeah, home stretch, 8-3. He has fire and significant advantage to have fire in 8-3, so he's probably feeling pretty comfortable right now.
Someone in chat's asking if there's a lion in one of our rooms. I hope it's yours, Bismarck, for my sake.
I think it's yours, because I heard that.
Maybe it's my... I live on a busy street, so let's just chalk it up to an outdoor lion. Ooh, I think Stewie was going for the fast 8-1 with the risky pipe jumps.
Yeah, 8-1 is when you have don't have fire, you either have to take these really difficult pipe jumps to do it optimally, or take it a little bit safe and make sure you clear all the spawn plants. But GTAce heading
back in the turnaround room. Nearly perfect turnaround. Into the swim. This is all routine for him at this point. He's just going to swim perfectly as he always does and head into the final room.
I think you should take it away this time, Mustache. I have.
All right. Let's see how he does. He does take some damage going through the hammers, but no problem to just persevere with a 19:27, a beautiful race time. GTAce takes both first and the second races, and this is a pattern so far in the bracket stage. I believe every race has been 2-0.
Oh, that's an interesting pattern. I didn't catch that myself, but yeah, I would just like to echo. Really nicely done for GTAce there. Stewie has put on. He kept it close for a lot of the race, and he's really showcased a lot of his skill here. So let's cheer for Stewie as he finishes it out.
I think I marked it correctly using my tools. So Stewie into Hammer Brother land in 8-3. Do you think he'll try to grab a Fire Flower?
I think he might skip it unless he takes. I think he might skip it here.
Ooh!
Oh no, that's
Look at that.
A slick little strat there to
I like that.
scroll the enemies off the screen.
I quite like to see that. It was only half a flower. How did he get? He should have half an overall.
So it looks like GTAce is going to join us for an interview here.
Oh, fantastic.
While
Why don't you get it started, Mark?
Yeah, Stewie's just heading into 8-4, so let's cheer for Stewie as he finishes out the race.
Yeah, let's hope for a really clean ending for Stewie. Let's see how his wall jump goes. Oh, excellent.
Nicely done for Stewie.
Into the home stretch.
Making sure to utilize his Fire Flower before he does so. Initiates the duck swim. Didn't like that bar, decides to head back just for a brief moment while he goes right through those bloopers expertly.
Took a bit of damage, but he's going to carry his invincibility to the axe. Looked like about a 22-minute time rather, for Stewie Cartman.
GG for Stewie Cartman. Really nice to see him come back with a stronger second race there. GTAce, what can I say? 1906, 1927. Pretty tough times to beat for anybody.
Yeah, 1927 was GTAce leaving the window wide open. So that's about the biggest kind of gift you can get, I think. 20-second difference between his two races. So this is a single elimination tournament, so that means that this is going to be it for Stewie. So everyone, make sure to go give Stewie Cartman a follow on his Twitch page, GTAce as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're joined by GTAce here. GTAce, can you hear us?
Yep.
Well, I'd just like to start out by saying GG on two. The first race was just a masterpiece there with the 1906, and second race, took some early damage, but overall, very strong performance. How did you feel about the pair of races there?
Well, the first one was everything I wanted. I can't really comment too much about it. It just went perfectly. Second one, I misjudged where the cheap was in the water. He was too high for me to hit with my fireball, so that didn't help. And then I just had to play it safe the rest of the race. And then I got absolutely destroyed by 5-3. I've never seen Bills so bad. It was awful.
Yeah, it looked to us like there was almost no way to avoid one that hit you.
With what happened, that there was no way. Because you have to stomp the Goomba to have the platform not despawn. So I had to take the hit. There was nothing I could do about it.
So I do have a question about your first race, even though it did go perfectly. I noticed some interesting things. I think you slowed down in 2 levels.
3 levels, yeah. 5-3, I waited a frame rule. 6-3, I waited a frame rule, and I waited at the start of 5-4. I was using the spreadsheet, so I knew my RNG and stuff.
So I was watching your practice earlier in the day. I believe you were on the same frame rule multiple times. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's pretty easy for me to consistently get the same frame rules. because there's only a certain window of frame rules that are like 2 frame rules long that you have to land in between, and usually you're either too fast or hitting it. So if you're too fast, you hit it anyway since you have to slow down. So following the spreadsheet, it's pretty easy to be on the same pace a lot.
I believe Stewie Cartman has joined us for the interview. Stewie, are you there?
Yep.
I just wanted to say GG on the races.
Thanks.
Tough company, racing the current world record holder in Warpless, 1906, 1927 is pretty tough. But first race, I think you're off, maybe a little off rhythm at the beginning, and then second race kept it close for a lot of the time there and really showcased a lot of your skill. How are you feeling about the pair races overall?
Just not too great about those 2 races. Like, once I missed the small fire, my rhythm was off completely. Because I'm not used to big fire Mario.
But we did notice in the first race and the second race all the way from World 2 that you're actually quite competent with big fire. So did you think about setting up small fire again? It looked like maybe you tried the second race to get it set up.
Well,
in
what
4,
was it? I think it was 4-4. I tried setting it up again. And I think I jumped too early.
So, you recently PB'd and have been playing really, really well in this tournament. And just curious, like, depending on kind of who your opponent is, do you change your strategies or do you kind of stick to your game plan?
I just go for what I know. I just go for what I know how to do.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the smart approach and what I've seen a lot of racers do. Changing strategies kind of just for one situation for the next. Often it's not going to lead to anything.
No, that usually doesn't work.
Yeah, consistency is always better.
GTAce, back to you. Just question about a question that came up in the second race when you had taken damage. Does the taking damage and the time delay there, does that automatically throw you off the spreadsheet no matter what?
Completely, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's what we figured. And
yeah, I had to just do all the safe strats at that point.
And then we kind of speculated
pretty early on too, so
yeah, we were.
I'm
kind
actually
of speculating
surprised my time is as good as it was. That was 2 hits, and it's still a 1927. That's a rare one to get a sub 1930 with 2 hits.
You did flagpole glitch though, so that saved you.
Yeah, 2-3. Yeah, a whole frame rule. Let's go. Totally saved the run.
Oh yeah, you also clipped in 4-4.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, that probably saved a frame rule too at best. That clip doesn't save much time, and the Bowser kill was slow. So, but swag over speed,
Stewie, unfortunately, this concludes the tournament for you, but I think you can have your head, hanging high, knowing that you've, made it to the group stage and you got knocked out by the world record holder. How have you enjoyed your experience in this tournament so far?
Oh, I had a great time. I knew facing GTAce that was going to be a very tough opponent. Just wish I could have put up a better fight.
Yeah, I think the way that works is frustrating for the racer because while the time that you finished wasn't satisfying, you still played large sections of the game really well. That can always be frustrating. That the time you get doesn't really reflect how well you played.
It's funny you mention that because the last series I had against Dash, he played so much better than I did. And then it was just those mistakes in World 8, which is why I won. When I watched back the series.
Yeah, Dash had really 2 great performances, but kind of tragic. I think 8-2 got him in one of the races.
I think it was 8-1, 8-2, and 8-4.
Well, finishing the runs is just as important as any of the intermediate levels.
Yeah.
I've had my fair share of tragedies in the day. The day being like a couple of years ago. So, yeah, everyone has to deal with them eventually. It's pretty much a guarantee if you want to race this category. So much can go wrong in the late game.
So Stewie, now that you're no longer have to think about and worry about practice for the tournament, are you going to work on PBs? Are you going to take a nice break from Mario Warpless? What's your plan?
I'm probably gonna take a break from Mario 1 Warpless for a while because I'm primarily a Mario 3 speedrunner. So I'm probably gonna grind Warpless for a 51 2x for the next few weeks.
All right, any of you fans of Mario 3, make sure to give Stewie Cartman a follow on Twitch, and GTAce, follow him as well. He's still working to push the world record lower. So is that going to continue to be your daily grind, GTAce?
That's the plan. For the most part, yeah.
GTA coming up in the brackets. You got some stiff competition, so looks like you're going to be facing JS Kerbo next. What do you think about your challenge coming up here?
I just need to not get hit early. If I can get 19-0x like I did the first race, I think I'm good there. But it's really hard to crank out a time like that every time, no matter how consistent I may seem. So I actually have to perform well if I want to be able to win.
Yeah, that's a good concept to remind everyone that you mentioned. You also have nerves as well. You're not just running fancy free, right? So
I have nerves.
Yeah,
This is news.
but people may just take for granted like how easy you make it look, but you also have the same race jitters as the rest of us.
Usually if I'm late enough and I'm confident, I'm not as bad, but the second race I was like, ah, crap. This isn't good. And then it starts to get a little, because now you're not on the spreadsheet, so everything is random. And I saw a lot of that in 5.3, so yeah, then it becomes much more of a problem.
Speaking of 5.3, that second race, there was that one part where you step off onto the Koopa, and then there was a bill waiting for me right there as soon as I stepped on it.
Watch my
No way
5.3 in race 2, please. You have no idea.
Yeah, we noticed that you got some also difficult patterns, Stewie, but you made it through.
I mean, Ace, if it makes you feel better, man, in my PB, I lost 3 seconds to bad build patterns.
I lost my fire in the race, so it'd be like that sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you killed 2 bullet bills before the third one.
Yeah, I duck jumped to avoid the first one, but I landed on it. But you're either going to duck under it, and that's kind of slow since ducking is slower. You lose a lot of frames for as long as you're ducking for. And then the second one was in the way where I landed on it. And another fun thing is if you land on a bullet, the next one fires later. And it actually set it up where that bill that hit me was perfectly in the way where I couldn't avoid it if I wanted to stomp the Goomba to have the platform not despawn. So yeah, it was just the perfect pattern to screw me over, pretty much.
Yeah, I was about to ask about that because I know depending, like the killing the bills changes the pattern of the future bills, but
yeah.
So even though you didn't know exactly where you were on the spreadsheet, you can know that it will definitively make it later for the next shot.
Yeah, but you never know where it's going to fire, so you can generally avoid it all the time. Some are patterns are much harder than others, but I don't know what the heck happened just then. That was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think let's move towards some final thoughts. I'd like to just take this time to thank everyone involved with these races, all the organizers, admins, volunteers, SpeedGaming, the chat, Bismarck for joining on commentary. Thanks GTAce and Stewie Cartman for the race. Any final thoughts? Let's start with you, Stewie.
I'm just happy it's over and I can start playing Mario 3 again. Like I went from mildly annoyed during game 1 to just full on tilt. It was that bad. I just wanted this series to be over after that point.
I'll enjoy your well-deserved time off Mario 1 Warpless.
But
I still love Mario 1.
Yeah.
But
we do hope to see you again for the 2021 tournament.
I'll definitely do that.
Confirmed.
Excellent, excellent. I'll just repeat Dr. Mustache questions. Any final thoughts for yourself, GTAs?
Not really. I just want to keep playing as well as I did the first race, and I might have a chance to actually win this, because the other two tournaments I've been a part of, 2018 and 19, well, the 2018 one, that's when I learned Warpless for the first time, so that was bound to not go well, but the second one, I actually had some good skills. Around that time, I had gotten the record for the first time last year when I had the 1902, and I was still pretty consistent back then, but I got out early, so the goal here is to not do that, and so far so good.
A lot of pressure on you in a sense. In the predictions, you're in the final four of all but one bracket.
Yeah, I think half of the
winning
predictions
many
have me
brackets.
winning.
Yes, winning
So-
many.
Yeah, I don't want to disappoint, so I'll try, but
Ace,
that
I'm
is
pretty,
pressuring.
I'm pretty sure if I won this series, everyone's bracket would have been busted.
Yeah, what about your own, Stewie?
Oh, that mine
Who
would have
did
been.
you pick?
Oh, I picked Ace.
Fair enough.
All right, Bismarck, why don't you take us home?
Sounds good. Just one final time. GG, GTAce on the excellent race, and for recently securing the world record. We look forward to you moving on to the brackets, and GG to Stewie Cartman for an excellent performance in this tournament so far. Making it through the bracket stage is no easy feat. There's a lot of stiff competition. It seems to get harder every year. Thanks to SpeedGaming and the team, Rupert and Takate, and all the people in the Mario staff for organizing this tournament. And with that, I'll end it there. Thanks, Dr. Mustache, as well.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.